We're going to roll in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this special episode of Away with Words, the podcast. I'm your girl, Bree Stories.
And it's A Tati.
Oh, my gosh. You notice anything? Maybe something a little exclusive? A little expensive?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
We're here with MJM Kid. Look at him.
Hey, guys.
You can literally see him.
I'm here.
He's
Show
here.
my hand.
We let
You
him
know
come
what we-
upstairs.
He lives in, never mind. I was going to fuck it up. I was going to say he lives in the attic, but you said up. I was like, MJM Kid.
Hey.
Now that we have an official camera on you, when we do our intro, what do you want to be called?
I guess I can do MJM Kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like, is that pleasing to you?
Yeah,
though?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
We're in this piece, the whole team of Away with Words, the podcast. You can see all of our beautiful faces, and you're the lucky one. Look at that. I love that. We're getting the hang of it.
We're getting the hang of it.
Today we're going to talk about something that's really, really important, and it is the demise of adult friendships.
Oh.
You know, it's still February, and in this month we talk a lot about love stuff, and I think that one of the things in our love lives that kind of gets neglected in the conversation is grieving friendships. It happens. We have to. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, a couple of housekeeping things. Please, there are so many places where you could subscribe to us. And by subscribe, I mean follow, like, all of the things that just mean that you support us. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast places, including YouTube. You can do it there as well. And you can also go to yaymash.com and subscribe there too. So don't neglect to do it, okay? Capiche? Bet.
Kaposh.
Before we get into our check-in, I think we got some ice to break.
Breaking ice.
There we go.
So,
There we go.
keeping with our Valentine's theme,
Brianna's birthday.
what or who
Mm.
was your 90s crush? 90s Brie.
What's his last name? Bumper. Is that his name? I may be making that up.
I'm
Bumper
not really
sounds like a
sure.
porn star.
Is that
Who
his
does
name?
bumps?
Got a crush on Big
Bumper.
Dick Bumper.
I made that up, I guess. Oh, wait. Bumper Robinson. Yeah, he was the fucking hot guy from Living Single. He was on all the. he was on all the shows.
Yes, he was on Sister Sister.
He was on Sister Sister. He was on.
He was the guy
A
that
Different World.
that was the manager of the restaurant that they worked at.
Oh yeah.
And then he also, when they did the episode when they dressed up like boys to play hockey, he was the one that Tamara was talking
yes,
to.
Yes.
Loved him when I was
Yeah.
a youth. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Mine's is Usher.
Oh, God.
And
I don't know why I thought I was about to hear like
still is
actor or something.
Usher and
He's an
Fredro
actor.
Starr.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fredro
for
Starr. I had
sure.
a
Q for life.
Q from Moesha.
Also
Yeah.
Arnaz. Sorry, just throwing that in there.
Interesting.
What about you, MJM Kid?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
I'm breaking ice.
Not this.
Dang. Honestly, can't remember anybody. It's such a blank right now. I can't remember anyone.
Bow Wow. Did he come out in the 90s? Like 99?
It was like
It was super
I'm pretty
late.
sure it was like 2000.
No, he's like 2000.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it was like 2000 on the dot
2001.
actually. Wouldn't be 2K. I mean, not be 2K. See, my brain goes.
What shows,
When
what
Bow Wow
shows
came out.
was I watching?
Smart guy?
I don't really having a crush on anybody.
You didn't have
TJ
a-
Henderson. You didn't have a star on
Not
TJ?
TJ
I
Henderson.
don't think so. I thought he was great.
What's the brother's name?
Not
Ooh, Marcus?
Tati
So-
liked
Yeah,
Marcus.
I
Now,
loved
I
Marcus.
had a crush on
I was gonna say I
Marcus.
loved Marcus.
Yes.
He was
What's
so
his
cute.
real name?
He's the one.
I know his
He's
name.
the one. Can't think of it.
I can't remember.
I know listeners are probably like, "Are y'all kidding me
Oh,
right
no.
now?"
I loved me some Marcus Henderson.
Okay.
And at this age, I also love,
I still love him.
I love, no, I'm saying at this
Oh.
age, I also have a crush on Mo. Like, I
Oh,
love
for
Mo.
sure.
Yeah, like when I be watching it back now,
Smart guy.
I would have, all those episodes when him and Yvette were like, tiptoeing on like kind of liking each other.
Jason
and not
Weaver.
Liking
oh my God.
Weaver.
Jason Weaver.
I would have
Legend.
been Jay down on Mo.
Yeah.
She should have definitely got involved.
You better get involved.
Yeah, I don't have one.
That's fine.
I know I do, but I can't find him in my
I
brain.
can't
Who didn't
find
have a
him.
crush in the 90s?
He did. He
Honestly.
just doesn't remember. But he just doesn't remember. I'm only pulling from who I still like. I still look back on those and be like, yeah, they are fine. Like, I feel that way about Arnez. I feel that way about
Did you
Bumper
like,
Robinson.
what's his name, Romeo?
Little Romeo?
No.
Oh, from Steve Harvey?
Yeah. Did you like
Oh,
him?
loved
cool.
him.
He didn't get me going.
Heartthrob.
Yeah. He was so, he didn't look like he should have been in high
No,
school.
he
at
looked
all.
way too like.
See, I was
He
afraid
was
of high
way
school
too.
because of those
Oh, he
kind
was
of images.
Ohaji.
Oh, how he was
Moesha.
Ohaji, the poet.
He said the same poem every episode that he was on. He said the same poem to
I never
her.
noticed that. I love that.
Yes, because when he came back for her 18th birthday and started saying the poem, she was like, same old poem.
He was fine though, so I would let him get away with it. Okay, let's check in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go first. Physically, I feel thirsty. I feel like maybe I'm a little self-conscious because these mics are so nice and new. I'm just like nervous that you could like hear the inside of my mouth like it's giving ASMR vibes. So it's
Did you
making
hear
me
me just
feel
now?
no, not at all. So I know it's probably an unreasonable thought that I'm creating.
Yeah.
But it's making me feel like I am thirsty because I don't know. It's creating a thing. It's creating a physical sensation. Emotionally, I am feeling joy. I'm feeling magic.
Yeah.
My attention is currently on. My attention is honestly on the spring. Like, let's go. Let's
Literally.
dry up. Let's not dry up. What is it called? What happens when let's melt up the snow. Let's warm up.
Yes, I can't wait.
You know, I'm ready for that. And spiritually, I feel magical.
Okay. So I'm going to just tell y'all that all my feelings right now are all centered around the fact that one of my nails are broken. So physically, I feel inadequate.
Wow.
Emotionally,
That escalated.
I am upset. My attention is on getting my nails done this coming week. And
Did you break it today?
I broke it Thursday.
Okay.
I broke it Thursday.
I'm so sorry. Rest in peace
It
to
was
that nail.
very disheartening. Like
Yeah.
it makes my skin crawl actually.
I get it.
Because ordinarily I would just go get the one nail fixed, but by it being so close now to time for me to get my nails completely redone,
Yeah.
I'm like, nah,
Just
I just
thugging
gotta
it out.
thug it out.
Yeah.
The worst. And spiritually, I feel.
Tell us.
Spiritually, I feel clear.
Good.
I love that for you. Mickey?
Yeah. Physically,
He's never done this before.
I did blank.
Yes.
Just blanking out left and right.
You're so nice.
Physically, I feel.
You love making me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So
You're so
nice.
nice.
Physically, I feel very warm.
Yeah.
I have this hoodie on. Emotionally, I'm very
Unlike
overwhelmed by all of this new shit.
I get it.
Still overwhelmed, making sure everything runs smoothly, which is
Yes.
what my attention is on.
Perfect.
And spiritually, I feel pretty connected.
I love that.
Yeah.
May I also add that you are
Word.
worthy, you are deserving, all of the things.
You can
Okay,
move over here.
so
So scared.
Of everything.
So we're talking about one of
I
our
thought your phone said Rhapsody in the basement.
ooh, that would have been cool.
It's coming back.
With who is the host?
I think Tigger.
Oh,
I don't know. This is something that I read like a while ago, but it said it was coming back.
Is it coming on BET?
I would assume, but I don't really know. Don't get me to line to y'all.
Okay.
I just read a headline a few months back that said they was trying to bring it back, but it was with Tigger though.
Well, we had a suggestion from one of our lovely, lovely listeners.
Suggestion box.
And when I heard it, I was actually super surprised that we've never talked about this.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe we've touched on it, like dabbled, here and there, but like, I think that this is a really good conversation to have, and I think that it's also a timely one. We all go through it. And we all also just went through the roller coaster that was the ending of Insecure. And that was a beautiful, and for me, like, first time real depiction of what it looks and feels like to lose and regain a friend. So I think that this is just a good conversation to have. So I'm just going to guide us with some prompts. And then I also just have some tips that I want to share. But first, I wanted to ask, who are you as a friend? Like, how would you describe yourself as a friend?
I think I am a listener by nature and an advice giver. Because even like friends that like I've lost, I don't want to say lost, but like drifted from over time, I would still get like random phone calls out the blue, like, I just want to tell you about something, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. So
you're that
I think
friend.
that's that. Yeah, I think that's definitely a true staple of me as a friend, and what people look for and expect and enjoy in their friendships with me is our talks.
To follow up with that question, how would you describe your relationship with the concept of friendship?
How would I describe
Your connection to it
my connection to friendship
as a concept?
as a concept? I think that friendships are extremely important. I think that friendships are just as important as family, if they're not, in some cases, the same thing, like intertwined.
Yeah.
But I think, your close friends do, because they feel like family, but I think it's definitely important to have connections that are not family. Like close families that are on the outside looking in, or something that may feel like, in comparison, they belong to you in a sense. Like, if I'm beefing with my mama and I talk to my brother about it, it's like we kind of have a shared interest there, versus like when you talk to like a friend, it's like you are strictly in this scenario here for me. Like, you don't have to tiptoe for like other people's feelings. And then also connections, as we know, for just human survival, are important.
For sure.
You need connections, you need affection, you need reassurance, you need encouragement, you need
Very
all
important.
these things that come from close friends. And I know me personally, I've always had a very good circle of friends around me. Like, my entire life, I've never truly dealt with a lot of like, oh, I can't believe she did that, or I can't believe he did that to me.
Right.
I'm so hurt. I didn't deal with a lot of those things. And it was very evident when I had my daughter how important all of my friendships were to me, because I was really in a space for like 2 years where it was like, all I had was phone conversations. Like, all I could, like, talking on the phone was like going out. So if I couldn't,
Call you at 7, girl.
I hung on those phone calls for dear life. So if I didn't have friends, who knows where my head, would have ended up, or where I would have been if I didn't have those connections.
This is off topic, but let me just say, Cassidy is my favorite party pooper. Me and you thought before Cassidy came along that we were about to move to Atlanta.
We did.
We was about to be outside. We thought we were just about to change our lives, and next thing you know.
And let me tell y'all,
like,
when I found
girl,
out I
no.
was pregnant, completely off topic again, but when I found out I was pregnant, the two people that I was nervous to tell was my father and Bree. Like, literally, like, I would just sit in my room and be like, I gotta call my daddy. And then I'd be like, and I gotta tell Bree. Like, I was so, like, I knew that if anybody would have, like, all of the people that love me and that are around me, everybody was supportive, and, like, I didn't have any bad reactions from any, but I knew that as far as disappointment could go, it would come from my dad and it would come from Bree. Like,
how did we let this happen?
Yeah. Like, bitch, we talked about this.
But no, everything worked out the way it was supposed to. As for me, so this is actually I was so thankful when Michael told me that that we had this request, because I know I talk about my woo-woo shit and my connectivity spiritually a lot, but I really be feeling that shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And that felt like a direct like tap on my shoulder, like, hey girl, you've tackled a lot, you've processed a lot, let's do this now. And it was heavy. And writing the piece that I wrote to go alongside it, I was like, yo, oh my God. So like one of the things that really stood out to me is how much more intentional I'm trying to be now as an adult about who I am as a friend. Because I have a very complicated relationship with the concept of friendship. And I think that one of the things that's interesting about that is that I think I got really blessed and lucky, because my friendships don't reflect that. My real friendships don't reflect that. I have really, really good friends and people that and now I'm getting older and older. So it's like even my older friends, my like later come friends, which are y'all, it's been like a decade now. You know? So it's like all of my friends have either been in my life for 20 or 10 years now. Like literally, like all of my closest friends.
Wow, yeah.
So, and I think that's a really good testament to the type of person that I am, even though internally I have had a lot of struggle with who I am as a friend. And so the next question is, have you had to heal anything in yourself in relation to friendships or yourself as a friend or just friendships in general as an adult?
Have I had to heal anything in myself? In the sense of, like, that I feel like there was something that I needed to fix for me to be a better friend? You mean?
Anything, whether it was losing a friend, whether it was drifting from a friend, or friendship changes or challenges, or that you realizing that you weren't the friend that maybe you intended to be. Any of those things apply here.
You know, I really stand on the fact that I wholeheartedly believe that I'm a good friend.
Absolutely.
And not to say that I am perfect or that
not.
I haven't maybe made mistakes, but I think that I am always so open for like communication or like understanding, you know, the people that are closest to me, that if I have lost friends or, you know, drifted from friends or anything, like, I always have just taken that as it's just a new season of life, and that, you know, and that person probably wasn't meant to stay on this journey with me. But I've never taken anything to heart in the sense of, you know, like, what did I do here? Or what, you know, what did I do? Or what did I need to change? Or I never, because I have so many good people that are still around me or that stay around me. So it's like, I don't think it's a reflection of me or maybe even of that person. It's just a reflection of times change.
Yeah.
People change.
I love that.
Drift.
And I think it's important though to also see that as a healing process too. Because not all healing takes like surgery. You know, like sometimes it's just like acknowledging, tending to it, accepting it, you know. So I think that's beautiful. As for me, in the past couple of years and just reflection, one of the things that I've started saying to my therapist and to people that I, you know, have trusted while I was just going through this process is, I'm the weird bitch. Like, when people be on social media, be like, bitches be weird, and I'm like, wow, I've been the weird bitch, like, to people in my coming up, in my adolescence, in my young adulthood. And when I really sat with it, because obviously that doesn't feel good. So I would say that to myself for a while. It's been like 2 years before I got to this point. And I was saying that a lot, and that doesn't feel good. And when I finally let myself sit with it and process it, and like get compassionate enough with myself to be like, okay, well, why is that? Why did you act that way? And I realized that in some form or another, I've always had some issue with abandonment. And my cool girl was very present in my friendships as well. So one of the things that I always did, always, was just be like, I'm cool. Like, I know what you're thinking about.
It's getting crazy, y'all.
I know what she's thinking about, but yeah, that is
too cool.
There's an example. You know, sometimes I would even go so far as maybe be disrespected by someone that I consider a friend, and I would not give them the truth and how I really felt about how they made me feel. But what I would notice is my ego would turn all the way up, and I'm saying to everybody that their actions are not a reflection of me. I'm a good friend. I'm going to love and accept you regardless, even if you don't treat me well. Like, that's always kind of just been my thing. And what was happening on the subconscious, though, is that I wasn't really being a good friend to those people. A, because I wasn't being honest with them. I wasn't, like, letting them into how I really felt. But also, I kind of kicked up this, like, okay, so not with that particular person, but with a couple other people, my abandonment thing would kind of flare up if I felt like, I don't even know, something would happen. And my subconscious and my ego would be like, find something to not like about this person randomly. Like, and I would just decide. And this is not happening in the front of my mind. I'm not literally having this conversation. It's just like over time, I would just notice, like, my phone, and I'll be like, I don't want to talk to this person, or I don't want to go out with them, or like all of a sudden I'm just like annoyed by this person's presence. And when I really think about it now, it's because something happened that made me feel like they were going to detach and it was going to hurt my feelings. So I needed to hurry up and be like, well, I don't fuck with them no way. And a lot of times I was wrong because they were still coming around. They were still hitting me up. But now, because my brain, our ego's job is to keep us safe. And one of the things that has always felt unsafe to me is being wrong. So my ego was like, well, we're going to prove you right. So now that you've decided that you don't like this person, we're going to show you all their flaws. Like, we're going to, like, hone in on them. And so I would literally start, like, years would pass and I would be like, what is going on? Like, what is this, like, icky feeling that I have every time this person texts me or calls me, or like somebody else brings them up? And I'm just like, I'm trying to go over there with them, or like out of nowhere. And that's what I mean when I say I've been the weird bitch, like, cause that's weird. Like,
it's interesting that you feel more comfortable detaching from people in the scenario that you not make up in your head, but in the scenario that, like, you put yourself in, like, in your own mind, but not comfortable to detach in what's actually happening.
Yes.
Like, being able to say, like, you did something that hurt my feelings, so I'm not dealing with you anymore.
Yes, because that was, to me, that was a reflection on me, not them. So, like, my go-to is always to up-friend the friend who did something wrong to me. Where it's like, you didn't treat me well, but I'm such a good friend that I'm going to love you anyway. Like, makes no fucking sense. Which is like, it's still an okay tactic if I was going to sit down and tell them, like, hey, that really hurt. And I really want us to get past this. And I really care about you so much that I want us to get to the other side of this. But I never had those conversations with those people who genuinely did something of, like, harm to me. Right. But if I decided, like, oh, this person is detaching, or this person don't like me, or I showed them something that felt too vulnerable for me, so I felt like maybe they were going to judge me, or I got scared, then all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't fuck with them no way. It's bizarre. And, like, looking back on it and being like, that's crazy. But it also makes me more compassionate in a general sense to the world around me, because weird shit happens all the time. Like, people do weird shit all the time, and it's like, we have to trust that we don't know what's going on inside of their mind. Like, and they don't even know what's going on inside of their mind. Because, like I said, this is not front of mind thought. This is not me being like, you don't like that they just detached from you, or that they have a new friend and they're not including you, and you don't like that. So now we're going to decide not to like, that's not happening. It's literally years later, me being like, okay, what happened between point A and where I am now, which is like fucking F. Like, what's happened? But the thing about that too, and I'm so thankful for it, is that those particular friendships have naturally healed when I decided to be honest with myself about those things. Because the truth of the matter is, those people never stopped treating me the way that they've always treated me. I created tension or distance, or I don't know, just like something weird in our space. But once I took it away, we're fine. These aren't my best friends, but that's just chalked more up to just like adulthood and, you know, life. And they're not my core friends who I keep up with on a daily basis. But now I'm in a space where I can talk to those people or reach out to those people or vice versa. And it feels okay now. So I'm thankful that I was able to kind of like heal those things on my own, and it not have to be a result, me healing because of a result of it being like, you was acting weird and you caused a lot of issues, like, you know? So I'm glad that I kind of noticed on my own. I mean, and who knows? Because maybe they do have memories of like, yeah, you were being really weird to me, or like you were mean or whatever. So maybe they do and we've just never spoke about it. But that's definitely something that I've had to heal within myself. So the big thing here is that sometimes we lose friends. Like sometimes we just don't keep the same friends that we've had, especially, I know a lot of people, and the person who suggested this to us, which is why I'm refraining from saying her name, I know that she's kind of from the same space as we grew up in. So like for us, our friends been our friends for a long time.
Exactly.
You know, so like to lose a friendship in adulthood, it sucks either way, but it especially sucks when it's like somebody who like watched you grow up and you just grow to a space, and it's hard because our values change. When we get older, the older we get and the more that we get in tune with who we are, sometimes we look up and we realize that we've been kicking it with someone who's completely misaligning with our values.
Not the same person.
Yeah. Or we started
to drift.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So what's advice for somebody who's going through something like that, right?
Exactly. So the first thing I want to... Tati like, fuck them, girl.
Like, we're done.
No, the first thing, so I have, if you follow my 3-step process, no, I'm just kidding.
If you follow the book will be on sale.
Exactly.
It's not 3 steps, it's actually 5. But the first thing that I have on my list is to be honest. Like, one of the things that I think that is the most difficult is when you're trying to save face. And when I say be honest, start with being honest with yourself.
Yeah,
and if you're not honest about the quality of your relationship not being what it is, you're going to continuously make yourself uncomfortable, because what you're doing is you're trying to bring your old self to a space where you don't fit anymore. Because that person has changed. In this scenario, of course, this can happen a million other ways. But in this scenario, that let's say that person is way different than where y'all started. And you keep trying to just be your same self and be your same... I'm your friend, I'm here, I love you, I accept you, but there's really no room for that anymore, because that person is not, they're no longer receptive to you as that friend. So I would say start with being honest with yourself. Secondly, be honest with them. Right. You know, like you have to have a conversation with people, especially like Tati said earlier, friendships are likened to families. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's very difficult to be honest in a lot of senses, because it's just scary. But I implore people to think about what scares them about being honest, especially when it comes to friends. Family can be different.
Absolutely.
Because there's really this fear of like what a lack of acceptance from your family looks and feels like. But with your friends, that's literally a space where you shouldn't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Like, you know, so if you
like,
are dealing with somebody,
nervous to tell this
right? So it's like, if I am worried that you're not going to accept me, or that you're going to judge me, or think that I'm weird, or like be defensive,
right? Then
maybe we just skip to step 5 and you're not my friend. You know.
Look.
But
so Tati, basically what I want to say is
right here.
Look, we brought you here today.
Tell me.
Tell me.
I'm like, okay.
I don't like your attitude.
See, I knew it. She doesn't accept
Y'all
it.
punked out already. You not supposed. You can't be scared.
Talk about.
Look, I'm just nervous. I still have something to tell you, but no, I'm just kidding. The second thing on my list is give grace.
Yeah.
So if you do have, let's say you muster up the courage to talk to your friend, give them some time to adjust to what you need. If they say to you, "You're right, I love you, my intention is to be the best friend to you that I can be," and if your needs have changed or shifted, or your requirements have changed, I want to try to make that happen. Let them try. At least let them try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if they say, like I said, if they get defensive and fuck you, bitch, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 fuck them. With love. Fuck them. You know, with love for yourself, not love for them. But like, I mean, love for them too. But you know what I'm saying? But like, it doesn't have to be animosity, but just know when to cut your losses, you know? But definitely give them grace. If that's really your friend, like sometimes we have to like ask ourselves, like, how would I want my friend to treat me? And if I was slipping up, or I was fucking up, or I was just in a phase and I'm tweaking, and I'm, you know, we build routines with our friends, especially now we've grown. So many of us don't live in the same states.
Right.
some of us don't live in the same countries. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the maintaining of a friendship is so important. And if you're doing something to disrupt the flow that you have with a friend when it's hard enough as is to maintain an adult friendship, like, it's important that you talk about those things, and it's important that you give them the chance to make it right. But if they can't, they just can't. And it's important that you also, like, care enough about yourself to not get too wrapped up in that when somebody just plain isn't treating you right. Yeah. It's important to also notice that a lot of these things are what we know about romantic relationships, and we just don't seem to, like, make that same connection in our friendships. That's what I love. Yeah, you do.
That's why I was kind of like, it's not that I don't care about losing a friend or the absence of a friend. Just like, you know, I care when romantic situations, like, don't work out.
It sucks.
But when, you know, if you're looking at your list, or like how you have, like, the 5 things that, you know, you should do if you're in conflict with your friend or something, when you're missing numbers 1 and 2 and 3, like, I'm automatically jumping a step. Yeah, like, it's just done.
It's over with.
And I'm not bothered by it, because if you couldn't give me, like, the honesty and the communication and the grace and, like, the time for me to hear what you're saying, understand what, like, if you couldn't give me those things, then the future of this relationship was never going anywhere to begin with. So it's not like it's a loss in the sense of you were here and now you're not. Yeah. But in the long run, I don't feel like I lost someone. I feel like we're just in the space that we were destined to be in the first place. Like, we were never aligned with how we, you know, do things. So that's
our alignment is up.
Yeah,
we're not aligned anymore.
That's why I'm so like, because I don't like trying to force friendships or force relationships or keep people around that have already shown that they don't, you know, that they don't move the same way that you move, or, you know, I don't think that it's even healthy. Yeah, you know, somebody always ends up hurt in those scenarios. So I almost think that the healthier and happier thing to do is to take the space, because it doesn't mean that, like, people hate each other.
Exactly. Like, which brings me to number 3, which is be flexible. Be open to the dynamic of your friendship changing. Maybe that's not your everyday friend anymore. Right. Maybe y'all aren't on a day-to-day basis anymore. Like Tati said, she got friends that'll just call her and be like, you the perfect person for me to tell this to, so I'm calling you, regardless of the fact that we haven't talked in months. Exactly. That happens.
All the time, especially as we get older.
Absolutely. And it's going to happen more and more as we get older. Exactly. Like, we have the privilege of, you know, being in our early 30s, but the older we get, the more our just household and family life changes. It's gonna get different, so be open to that. Don't take that personally. Don't say like, this nigga went from calling me twice a day and now I don't hear from them, and it's like, but that doesn't have to mean that's not your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, so just be open. Don't get yourself stressed out about the fact that, because y'all know I got all my best friends, but y'all know my best friend, me and that bitch don't talk every day. Exactly. Me and that bitch talk when she in town. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's my best fucking friend. And and I know that doesn't change just because our communication isn't the same as it used to be.
Your needs change with people too. Like, you know, the older you
I don't need to talk to nobody every day at this age.
That's what it is.
When I think about my friendships when I was younger, like the thing about starting people. Well, except for but when I know Ari gonna see this and be like, bitch. A sign that a relationship may be going down south when I was a kid would be we haven't been talking every day. Yeah. Like, I don't know every single thing you did. We didn't wake up in the morning, get on the phone, go to bed. You know, like, that constant communication. As soon as there was a change, and it was automatically like, whoa, you know, like, what's happening here? Like, something's off. Like, but as an adult, you know, we are leading. You know, like, sometimes, like, I could look at my phone. You and Michael will be having full-blown conversations. Yeah. And I rarely say anything because I, unfortunately, am working a regular, like, 9 to 5 time. So, like,
you're working a double job and child
at work. Yeah. But typically, like, when you guys are holding your conversations, it's during, like, the work day. So it's like, I'll see it. It's like, I'll keep it. And I'll try to remember, like, oh, like, let me say something or let me do this. And then it's like, but by the time, like, I get off, then it's like the dating. Like, you know, it's just
what times work best for you?
And then I'm like, why didn't Tati fucking answer?
He ain't never said that.
I said he is like that.
He ain't never said that.
But for real.
Yeah, and it's like, and you see these things, but I would hope, even though like I never said it to Michael, but I have reached out to Bree before and been like, please don't take it personally that like I don't be responding. Like I be at work, I be seeing it, I be meaning to say stuff back, and then I forget. But you know, your true friends, it's not. It's,
my girl,
I'm not about to sit here and be like, Tati don't care about us. Like, I don't think that, you know. So that is important that you just be flexible and just be willing to adjust. Like, you know, like, and all friendships ebb and flow. And I know I'm speaking from a privileged place because I know that there are people that just don't have a lot of friends. And I have a lot of friends.
Same.
Like, we have lots of friends. And so it's also this ebb and flow with just different people where it's like, I'll spend 4 months talking to Tati every single day. And then for months on end, we only talk on Saturdays when we come and do the podcast. And then in that space of time, I might be talking to Ari every day. And it's it just ebbs and flows, you know, so it's fine. That's not the last thing. The fourth thing on my list is keep your boundaries intact.
Yeah, that's really important.
Know your boundaries. And we talk about boundaries a lot in romantic spaces, but your friendships too. And I think that quiet is kept. Friends have sometimes even more room to cross boundaries than romantic spaces because we already have this like automatic kind of like stopper when it comes to romance where it's just like, I'm not dealing with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain things, but friends are friends. So when friends start to evolve and change and start getting into shit that we're not necessarily into, it could take us a while to be like,
yeah, like I don't want to do that.
I don't want to talk about that. And for me, that really be having to do with like the quality of conversations and stuff. I'm not willing to have like an inherently negative conversation just ongoingly. Like you only call me to complain or you like, I'm not willing to do that. And so many times I've been like, well, you know, that's my friend. Let me be a good friend. You know what I'm saying? But it's important that you keep your boundaries intact because if your boundaries are intact, not this.
Don't wave us off.
Like
these bitches ain't no shit.
It was about to be too much.
No, it was about to be too much. If your boundaries are intact, then you're easily able to get to that step one, which is being honest and having conversations when they need to be had. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, this is something that I'm not into or interested in. So last thing, and this is literally last, over with, when it's done, it's done. You can always let go with love. We have this misconception that of what emotions are supposed to present like. So it's like, if I'm angry at you, I have to come at that a certain way for you to know I'm angry. Or if I'm sad, and it's just like, no, I can express anger and then not mean fuck you, bitch. You don't talk to me.
Or yelling.
Yeah, it doesn't
saying
have
mean
to be,
things.
It does not have to be belittling. It doesn't have to be disrespectful. I can be like, wow, that really hurt me, and it makes me angry that you're treating what I thought was a real friendship the way that you are. And with that being said, I'm just gonna part ways with you.
Right.
And that's with love for myself first and foremost, but also for you, because I'm not about to mistreat you by continuously nagging at you or letting you go on doing whatever the fuck you doing and just not saying anything. I'd rather just remove myself when it gets to that point, you know?
Yeah. I think that kind of, for me, ties into, you know, like our previous topic about, you know, the people that we attract to us and stuff, where it's like, if you're attracting genuinely good people and friendships in your life, that's when you can like let go with love, because me figuring out that we are not right for each other or that we, you know, aren't the best for each other doesn't take away the fact that I still think you're a great person. Yeah. Or I still think
we just stopped having a really good time with each other.
Yeah, like so it doesn't, that's when you can have that like, oh, it's all love. It's just not working out. Exactly. No big deal. You know, and that's why I feel like it is important to, like we always say, like, know yourself and know the people, you know, that you want around you, and make sure that you're keeping positive energy around you, because when you make exceptions, or when you know something isn't right, but then you make an exception for it, I feel like that's when the anger comes, because then when something goes down, you like, I knew you wasn't, you know, like, because you knew it. But you did it anyway. So now you're pissed. You're pissed because you proved yourself right. When you should have never been around that person to begin with.
Reminds me of Joan Clayton.
Joan.
When I just watched this episode, let me just say, I don't like the show Girlfriends. Sorry. But I just watched this
Love
episode when Joan like finally got fed up with maybe the fucking third time. I don't know. When she got fed up with Tony and like gave her all her stuff in a box and Tony was crying.
I love that episode, by the way.
And yeah, but it's like the importance in being honest about setting boundaries and about how you let people treat you is really evident in that space, because Joan ended up turning into like an unsavory person in that space and time, because Tony was going through something really, really real, really, really like scary. Like, it's not fun to lose your fucking job. And that was like, regardless of, you know, everything that was going on, was not a good time for that to be piled on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if Joan would have just been honest months or years ago and nipped certain things in the bud, it wouldn't be now I'm overflowing and now I'm about to shit on you while you're already down, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I liked that when we talk about, even though it wasn't necessarily like with love, but it was very, it was very
stoic.
cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of antics. It
Nope.
wasn't like she didn't want to
just was
like
like, I'm done.
there wasn't like a fighting
Yeah.
and this and that. She wasn't even like trying to tell her friends like, oh well, if you hang with her, you can't hang with me.
No.
It was just a simple like to herself, I need to remove myself from this situation. And I feel like in those type of scenarios, that is the way to go about it. If you have to go about it, it's to just like, there's no harm, no foul. Like, I don't know, we don't got to fight about it. I'm just telling you, I'm done.
Yeah, I just wish you would have did it sooner because the timing was just shitty. That's all. But like, you know, whatever. Fuck. No, say fuck Joan.
Oh, damn.
I don't feel that way.
Oh, my God.
I love Tracy Ellis Ross. Anyway, but that's it. Anything that
was
you
the
want to
5?
add, MJM Kid?
No, I completely agree with everything. I just think that, you know, everything just happens how it's supposed to, you know?
I think so too. That's
that's the
actually
process.
a really, really important thing to keep in mind, is that everything happens the way it's supposed to. Like, if nothing else, you can always like just cradle yourself in that thought. Because sometimes we're going through something and we don't understand and we're just so sad or upset that something ends. But you can always go back to that thought. Like, everything, not only, I would tell you to kick it up a notch too, something that I say to myself, everything is happening for my highest good.
Yeah,
Somehow,
exactly.
this is contributing to me being the best version of me that I can be. And the only thing that I need to do with this is create the opportunity after that.
Means kick your ass to the curb.
Beat your ass. Kick your ass to the curb. I said beat your ass.
Look at
No, I'm just
everything we
kidding.
said.
No fighting. We're not
No
kids
fights.
anymore. I was just telling someone, now I wish I would have fought more. I mean, I didn't really fight at all, but like, I wish I would have fought like when I wouldn't go to jail forever for it. Now it'll be like, I don't want to do that.
That's never been on my list of regrets. Talk about it. I wish I would have fought more. I wish I would have had more fight stories.
I mean, I would have fought my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Those only people.
Oh, the ones that were mean to you?
Yeah, those are the ones that ever hurt my feelings enough. Like, bitches who just didn't like me because, like, boys and stuff, I'm like, whatever. But the times my feelings were, like, hurt enough where I'm like, I'm about to hit this bitch when I see her, it was, like, my friend.
Right.
Because you are the only one that can cut me that deep.
Yeah.
Anyway, sending love out to everybody. But yeah, I'm very glad that we got to have this conversation. And if you two listeners, wordies, have anything that you want to suggest, we are so open for that. So please hit us up. You can email us at askaway.words@gmail.com. You can hit the comments below on the YouTube, the comments on our Instagram. Put it in a review. We'll see. I'll see that.
Our DMs are open. For
Our
this
DMs
stuff.
are open, except to that boy who I had to report the other day. You know who you are.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he watches or listens to this, but he said something very obscene in my DMs.
Oh, God.
And I'm being like a vigilante late. Oh, did I tell you guys that somebody FaceTimed me and they were jerking their penis and I didn't know who it was?
Whoa.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, man.
I hung up and then I texted them an Apple Pay request for $50. And they were like, what is this for? And I was like, you're either going to give me $50 or I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait. You threatened their life.
Talk about
It was like blackmail, right?
Yeah, because
Did they give you $50?
They did not, but I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work little by little. Like, the more I want men to be more fearful.
Yeah,
I want them to
right.
be more worried. I want them to be to the point where they think like, maybe
You
I
didn't
shouldn't
think he had
do
the wrong
this.
number?
He did.
Oh,
we talked
okay.
about it.
I'm like, wait, before we want men to be worried, did we get everything
No,
out
but
the way?
I've also gotten some obscene DMs lately, and I just go.
right.
The first thing I do is say like, "You're being reported. This is sexual assault." Like I say something very extreme because I want them to think about that next time they do that to some other woman. It's just gross. Anyway,
Or me. I got a weird one too.
period.
I gotta show y'all that.
Anybody.
I gotta show y'all that.
Anyway, guys, gals, and everybody else, please have a great day. Please continue to do all the things that you've always done. Follow us on all the places to be followed. You can follow us at Away with Words, the podcast on Instagram. And you can follow me there at Brie.stories and at Brie_stories on Twitter. And you can also follow at A_Tati on Instagram and at Hey Tati on Twitter. And you have to, I mean it when I say it, you have to follow at MJM Kid and at Moments_Stu because you gotta. Okay? Sending you so much love, and we'll see you next week. Everybody say bye.
Bye.